Hey guys, my name is Justin, and this channel is about my journey through liver transplants, through cholangiocarcinoma, and different things that I have going on health-wise. So if you found this channel because you or a family member or someone you know is going through that type of thing, go ahead and hit subscribe and you can follow along on my journey. But today I'm just giving you a quick update on what happened yesterday. I am at the Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville, Florida, and yesterday was my Y90 mapping procedure. Y90 is a procedure where they insert radioactive beads into a cancer tumor and it basically fries it from the inside out. In order to get those beads where they go, they have to be able to map how to get there with a catheter, how much dosage they're going to need, how radioactive they want those beads to be when they're injected, things like that. And so yesterday was my mapping procedure. It's basically the exact same procedure as the Y90 injection, but instead they're just going through and mapping out the different arteries that feed the tumor, as well as putting in a small tracer and then sticking you under a imaging machine. And they take different images to see where that tracer goes and make sure they're not going to fry too much of the good liver cells around the tumor when they do the infusion. The procedure is very long compared to a lot of the other liver procedures I've had. My appointment was at 11. I actually went back about 11:45 because I had to go get some blood work done first. I believe my actual procedure started sometime right around 12:30, 1 o'clock, and I left yesterday about 5:30. So it's definitely a long procedure. You do get a little bit of pain medication at the very beginning, but it's basically just to calm your nerves while they insert the catheter. And after that, you have to be awake and be alert because there's a lot of breath holds and different things that the doctor needs you to do. For most of the procedure, while the doctor is actually moving around inside the different arteries and trying to find what feeds that tumor, your arms are above your head, you're laying on the table, and he just asks you to hold your breath, basically breathe in, breathe out, and hold it. And that goes on for a while he maps out exactly what arteries go where. Again, the whole goal of the procedure is to find out what arteries are feeding the tumor and what else those arteries are feeding. You don't exactly want to stick radiation in an artery that feeds the tumor but also feeds your lung or also feeds too much of your good liver cells. So the outcome of mine was that there are a lot of, say, spider arteries, just so you can kind of get an image in your head. Basically, if the tumor is right here in the middle, it's getting fed by arteries all around it rather than just one main artery that can come in and feed the tumor. That's the ideal situation. If it's one artery, awesome. They stick the beads there, kills the tumor, everybody's happy and goes home. Mine was not quite that simple from what the doctor said, so they will be feeding a couple different arteries with the beads, and in order to make sure that they kill as many cancer cells as possible, they end up getting a margin outside of the tumor, which is essentially healthy liver cells that they're going to be killing just to make sure that there's no cancer cells that are starting to creep out and basically a growing tumor, that type of thing. They are going to end up sacrificing a lot of the left lobe of my liver in order to blast the tumor away. If they were to infuse as much as they wanted to get the margin on the right side of the tumor, they would end up hurting too much of my healthy liver and bile ducts. So they have a feeling they're going to get about 90 to 100% of the tumor, but they're not going to get quite the margin they would like to get on the right side. But over the next day or two, they're going to be figuring out the dosage. They're going to be figuring out how radioactive they want the beads during the infusion. And so basically they'll mix up a batch of radioactive beads, wait for that half-life to come down to where it's at the point they want the radioactivity in those beads. And then we set up a time to go ahead and get that infusion. The procedure itself, not very painful. Like I said, they do give you some pain meds at the beginning to kind of just basically calm your nerves. They wear off in 20-30 minutes though, and you're pretty awake and alert for the entire procedure. They do a local anesthetic. They put the catheter in at the groin, go up that way, at least for where my tumor is located, which is kind of right along the bile ducts on the left lobe of my liver. So interesting journey. They decided to do Y90, a couple other types of treatment they could have done. If you have the option, the surgical option is the best. They go in, they cut the thing out, and you're done. Not an option for me because I've had 2 liver transplants, and just my anatomy from those transplants doesn't make the tumor reachable with surgery, at least not easily, not without a lot of risk of complications. So that one kind of got knocked off the table pretty quick for me. They could do external beam radiation, which is where they basically use a laser and try to fry it from the outside, completely painless. But it's a series of multiple laserings. I don't know a better word for it, but multiple sessions of the external beam radiation to make sure that they get it. So that could take anywhere from 1 week to 3 weeks to 5 weeks, depending on the size of the tumor. They said mine would probably take about 3 weeks to do that way. It's, Monday through Friday, an hour every procedure, or however long yours would need to be. Could be 15 minutes, could be an hour, could be whatever they need. A lot of these get followed up with chemo, or some of them even start chemo beforehand. With the Y90, they don't want to start chemo first because it could affect your arteries and change the integrity of them, so they could become weaker, and then the catheter would have a harder time delivering those radioactive beads. So I have not had any chemo yet. I was scheduled for some this Friday, but we've moved it back since I got in to do the Y90 mapping so quickly. Still a possibility afterwards that I need to have that done. Since they won't get the margin they want, we'll do a couple scans a couple weeks after we do the Y90 and find out if there is any of the tumor left, how much, where it is, and what options we have for that afterwards. So that's a quick update on my cholangiocarcinoma, at least so far. This channel is going to be kind of skipping back and forth in time because I want to explain everything that I've gone through, how we got to this point. But I'm also using this channel to keep my friends and family updated on what I'm going through. So that's today's update, and if you guys have any questions, comment below. If you want to follow this journey, or if you want to share this with your friends and family that may be going through something liver related, whether it's a liver cancer, whether it's a liver transplant, I've gone through all of those. I have primary sclerosing cholangitis. That's what I'll be talking a lot about on this channel. Been through 2 liver transplants. I've been through a grease fire, 9 skin grafts. I've got Crohn's. So there's a lot of things that we're going to be talking about on this channel. So if you or any family members have questions, comments, anything about that, go ahead and leave them below. And I will see you guys tomorrow for another update. Tomorrow I'm having some chest lymph nodes biopsied to make sure that nothing is spread. So I'll see you then. Bye.